gathering together for Shabbat. As it's getting colder outside, I'm still thinking about summertime and how nice it is to be outside, especially when we go to Camp George. And I was thinking about some of my favorite memories of Shabbat at Camp George, when we get to get ready for Shabbat all together. Everybody comes out of their cabin with their friends and everyone's dressed up and ready to welcome Shabbat. And everybody's taking pictures. Arlene, what are the things that you especially remember about being at camp?
All week long, we wear whatever we want to wear. We're in camp, we wear running shoes, but on Friday, everybody wears their very best Shabbat clothes. The girls put on a little bit of makeup, perhaps. The boys kind of tuck in their shirts for a change. It's just lovely. And then we all meet together to have a hakapa, a march up from the hill down to where the Chadar Ochel is, the dining room. And as we're marching, we're stopping for pictures, but we're all singing. So Ron, can you lead us in our march, in our hakafa to the Chadar Ochel, to the dining room where we're going to begin our make-believe Shabbat for Camp George? Let's do it. And that, as well, is my favorite part. And you talked about favorite parts of Shabbat. It was when you have the entire camp going down the same hill, everyone's voice together singing the song. By far the best moments of camp. So if you guys want, while you're at home listening to the Shabbat service, you guys can sing along absolutely as loud as you can. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la la la. La 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 la. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. All right, so if you don't have your entire family in front of your computer yet, go find your kids. Call your grandparents, call your cousins, get everyone to sing along with our Shabbat Hakafah. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, die 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 die. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, Ron. That was great. It makes me feel like I'm up at Camp George and we're about to gather in the Beit Tefillah and we can see across the lake and the trees, and it's just a beautiful place to welcome Shabbat.
Okay, so we have a small service, and then we go into the Chadar Ochel, into the dining hall, and at our tables we all sit together as at the head table. Some of our counselors, some of our campers all get together, and as a family of Solel and all the other synagogues and Camp George attendees, we all light our candles. So let's pretend we're not on Zoom. Let's pretend we're not just at Solel. Let's pretend we're at Camp George, that we're all in the dining hall. As for Shabbat, we light the candles, and we're going to say the bracha together. So let's light the candles. Echad, Shtayim, Shalosh, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
And then we can sing, Rabbi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Now, just to tell you a little bit about the way a Camp George meal goes, we serve ourselves. So on the table, we will go to the kitchen area and we get these beautiful challah buns. There's lovely soup. There'll be chicken and potatoes. And there's one favorite part of the Shabbat meal that I like. Rabbi, can you guess which part of the meal I like the very best?
Dessert.
Absolutely. Wonderful pareve, non-dairy chocolate brownies. I think I've been going to camp about 20 years and it's the same dessert every year. And
it gets better each year.
It's delicious, my most favorite time. So Rabbi, is there anything else that's special about Camp George Shabbats that you'd like to share?
Well, I think what's most special, we're going to hear a little bit about from our Camp George friends tonight. They're joining us for Shabbat, so we're going to hear a little bit about what it's like to be on Maple Lake for the summer and to look forward to summer of 2021.
Nice.
All right, so we're going to invite Camp George, Karen Collins and Jeff in, and their new assistant director, and we're going to see some beautiful pictures about Camp George. And then when they're finished, we will come back for one more song so we can end our Solel Shabbat service.
All right, let's welcome Camp George.
Right.
Shabbat Shalom, Solel congregation. It is great to be with you, albeit virtually, but we are still with you. Hi from Camp George. My name is Jeff Rose. I am the director. We've got Karen Collins, the associate director, and Jared Kaminsky, our assistant director. We are talking to you about summer camp here in the fall. I know it sounds weird, but we get to live in the summer all year round. We're going to show you a little bit about what makes Camp George special. We are the only Reformed Jewish camp in all of Canada. That alone makes us special, but you'll get to see some sights of what camp looks like and what the summer would look like if you were to join us. I also want to note that we have a really special relationship with Solel. We have Rabbi Audrey who comes to join us, as well as Arlene, to help us with our programming, and they are great friends of Camp George. So we are just so happy to be with you tonight. Shabbat Shalom, and if you have any questions, we'll look forward to following up with you later on. So thank you again. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're so thrilled to be here, and we thought we'd start this evening before we talk a little bit more in detail about camp with a Shabbat story. So if hopefully you can see our screen, one of our favorite camp stories called No Baths at Camp. Bath time, Max's mother announced after dinner. I wish I were back at camp, Max grumbled. There are no baths at camp. No baths for a whole week. Really? Said Max's mother. Yes, said Max. On Sundays, we go to the rock climbing wall. We put on a harness, we chalk our hands, and when we get to the top, we ring a bell and put our handprints on the wall. And even though we're covered in chalk dust, there are no baths at camp. On Sundays, we have drama. After we paint the sets, we get dressed in costumes, we put on makeup, and we put on a show. And even though we're covered in face paint, there are no baths at camp. We help our counselor Yoni build a fire. We gather sticks in the woods and we use a magnifying glass to make a spark. Then we roast marshmallows and our hands get all sticky, but still no baths at camp. On Wednesdays, we go swimming in the lake. The water is green and muddy. Sometimes we even catch frogs. And afterwards, we go swimming and our fingers get all wrinkly, but there are no baths at camp. On Thursdays, we go to the art studio. We make bowls out of clay, and some of us paint on outdoor easels. We get clay and paint all over us. And when we're done, we have a water balloon fight. But there are no baths at camp. On Friday mornings, we learn Israeli dances on the big field. Some kids play instruments, others teach us the steps. We dance barefoot and we get our feet all muddy, but there are no baths at camp. And on Friday afternoons, we shake the sand out of our blankets in our cabins and sweep the floors. We put away all of the sports equipment and hang up our costumes in the drama closet. We clean out the fire pit and we scrub the canoes and we decorate the dining room with our artwork. And then, just before sundown, we take turns in the showers. We scrub our faces and behind our ears. We wash our hair, and our staff makes sure that it stands outside the showers and inspects us as we leave. And then, quick, we put on our nice clothes. We comb our hair. We run down to the waterfront where the whole camp gathers. Devorah, the camp director, or Jeff, the camp director, stands in front and calls out, "Shabbat Shalom, everyone." And we all answer, "Shabbat Shalom, Jeff." The counselors lead us in songs to welcome Shabbat. And then we all troop into the Chadar Ochel, our dining hall. We light the Shabbat candles, and each week a different cabin leads the blessing for wine and challah. After a special, amazing meal, we sing more songs, we dance, and we tell stories. On Saturday, we get to sleep in late, and in the afternoon, we go for a nature hike. And Yoni tells us stories about growing up in Israel. And when we get back to our cabins, we tell jokes and sometimes scary stories. And when it starts to get dark, we go back to the waterfront, and Devorah, or Jeff, holds up a braided candle and passes around cinnamon sticks for everyone to smell. We are saying goodbye to the sweetness of Shabbat. Shavua Tov, have a good week. And we all answer back, Shavua Tov, Jeff. But Max's mother said, "We have Shabbat at home. We sing songs, we tell stories, we take walks around the neighborhood, and at the end of Shabbat, I always say Shavua Tov." I know, Max said, but camp is better because there are no bads at camp. That's one of our favorite stories to tell, and while we miss being with you in person to share a story from the Solel Bima, we're so thrilled that we're able to do that here today like this. I want to throw it over to my colleague and friend Jared, our assistant director. We're going to tell you a little bit more about camp and show you some pictures to follow along with.
Hi, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. So nice to be with you this evening. I'm Jared, assistant director of Camp George, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about camp. And we have some photos that you can look at to see our beautiful camp. So Camp George, as you can see from the sign, is located on Maple Lake in a very wooded area with a lot of beautiful trees. The camp started in 1999, and we are the only Reform Jewish camp in Canada. And it's a place where you can learn new skills, make friendships that'll last a lifetime, and have a really meaningful Jewish experience. Next slide, please. So camp, on a typical day, a lot happens. We usually start out in the morning, wake-ups around 7:30, and then we all gather as a camp community. We have some delicious breakfast in our dining hall, and then we get some rest time, and we clean up our cabins. Then we have 5 different activity periods throughout the day, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what those activities could look like. And we also have Jewish learning throughout the day that we do. And we have lunch and dinner all together and an evening program. Within the cabin, you can either be on a top bunk or a bottom bunk, and you have an area for your own things. And each of our cabins have their own bathrooms inside that you can use. And the cabin's really special because you have your own space, but you're living communally with others. And what's something unique about camp is that you go to your different activities within your cabin unit. So you have your own family within our larger camp family. So the activities make camp so special and so much fun. We have an amazing waterfront on Maple Lake with all the waterfront activities where you can try new things and learn new skills and be supported by our amazing trained staff. We also have lots of different land activities, an awesome ropes course, and other activities where you can try new things. Of course, for those who like sports, we have all different types of sports activities and different tournaments that you can play in. And we have creative arts activities, all drama, dance, cooking, pottery, and all of our activities we teach you through a Jewish lens. So we introduce Jewish values and teachings into our activities.
One of the things that makes Camp George so unique and so special is Jewish life at camp. We say that at camp, we live in Jewish time, which means that camp slows down on Friday before Shabbat. As we heard in our story, we all get ready for Shabbat. We celebrate Shabbat together as a community. So just as Jared shared, we're learning about Jewish values and Jewish life all week, and it really culminates each week in Shabbat. And ending each Saturday night, as you can see here on our slide, at an area of camp we call the Point, where we say goodbye to Shabbat and we say hello to the new week with Havdalah. We're really thrilled, as Jeff shared, that so many of our Solelniks join us each summer at camp and have done so for so many years, as well as some of your amazing clergy and professional staff. And that's really what makes Camp George unique and special. You can learn to be Jewish and celebrate your Judaism in a way that complements how you're doing that both at home and in your synagogue, but in a totally new way.
So that's our presentation for tonight. We hope that you will consider joining us for summer 2021. We are all very excited to get back to Maple Lake. If you'd like to learn more about our camp and what the camp has to offer, we have a parlor meeting on November 8th. And then on November 14th, we are also doing the Taste of George, which is a virtual experience with lots of activities that are camp themed. And we hope that some of you will choose to join us for that as well. And each of these opportunities will give you a chance to learn more and more about what the Camp George experience is all about. You can find out where the links, you can find the links on our Facebook page, through our website, and also through Solel. And we really hope that we get a chance to talk to you more about camp at either of those activities. So with that, I just want to say again, thank you so much for having us. Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and we look forward to seeing you throughout the year.
Shabbat Shalom, Solel.
So that was a great presentation.
Oh, nice.
From Camp George. We're really excited that they are with us for Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
And Arlene, is there anything else you want to share about George?
Well, you know what? That story that Karen told us about Shabbat, there are no baths at Camp George because they're only showers. But we stay clean because we can go into Maple Lake and swim. Right. So let's say our ending for our little service, and hopefully some of your parents will stick around for the 8 o'clock service. Ron, our closing Zmira.
It was like this. Heivenu shalom alechem, ha alechem. Heivenu shalom, shubidu up. Heivenu shalom alechem, ha alechem. Heivenu shalom. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Oh baby. Hine shalom alechem, ha alechem. Heivenu shalom. Shubidu, I said, Heivenu shalom alechem, alechem. Heivenu shalom. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Last time now. Heivenu shalom alechem, alechem. Heivenu shalom. Shubidu up, I said, Heivenu shalom alechem, alechem. Heivenu, alechem. Heivenu, alechem. Heivenu shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. They'd say for Solel.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Have a great week.